Whoop, whoop. It's Sunday evening, October the 12th. Wow, we had a massive drop on Friday. I think I put a thing in the chat that said that SPX and SPY, they wiped out 20 days worth of green or 20 days worth of movement. They wiped it out all in one day. Gone. And I put a picture in the chat too. That was Friday. So I saw some people talking about people either really made a whole lot of money on Friday or they lost a whole lot of money on Friday. I think was interesting. We were talking about the whole pivot machine gun, and if people were riding in calls, have been in long calls from it for any length of time, a lot of people who buy, they buy time. And as the profits and as the days kept going, they would maybe move their stop losses up and move their stop losses up. All those people, if they didn't scramble fast enough, all those people got stopped out on Friday. I mean, if you're looking at it, every one of these, every stop loss, if a person was talk about the algorithm stop loss hunting, if the person had their stop loss here, or that's the same line there, if they had it here, if they had their stop loss here, all these stop losses got blasted on Friday, right? Anybody who was riding with the stop loss, they all got taken out on Friday, right? Again, unless you scrambled, if you were riding along thinking this, I'm just gonna ride the train, a little longer, see how we go. That's what ended up on Friday. All these days of trading were wiped out all in one day. All of these days of trading were wiped out in one day as a buyer, if you were a buyer. Um, so there are people, like I said, folks who said they either made a bunch of money on Friday or they lost a bunch of money on Friday. Personally, as sellers, it's a little different for us when we're sellers. So you can let that be your consolation prize, unless you got, if you made some money on puts, whoop, whoop, good, good, good. If you jumped in some puts on Friday and made a few dollars, good. I'm excited for you. Definitely. We made a few dollars on our call credit spread. We did, a few of us lost a little bit on some put credit spreads because the day looked like it wanted to turn around, but this wasn't Friday, by the way. This was Friday. Sorry, the day looked like it wanted to turn around partway through, but around 6,600. But the momentum was so strong that it didn't even. It paused for a minute, and we're gonna look at it. Paused for a minute, but then it picked right on up and kept dropping. It kept right on falling. All right. So we're on our chart. Um, so we're gonna put our lines and stuff on here. This is something you honestly should like chart each day, but then at the end of the week, you probably want to go back and update your chart. But let's go ahead and do that for the week and see what we potentially see going into next week. Of course, or this week coming up. We've got let's go to the weekly chart first. We're starting at the weekly chart. We want to put in our weekly high. I'm just moving our weekly high up. It was already on the chart, so I'm moving that up. And we have a daily support and resistance. Turns out it's right at the weekly open because this was the open of the week. So the whole week was red too. So this is the weekly open. Which one of these is this the right? Yes. Okay, so weekly open. It's also a daily support and resistance. I'm gonna leave that orange line there for now, even though I'm not sure what it is at this point. I'm still gonna leave it there for now. Our weekly close is down here. We want to mark the weekly close at the bottom of the red candle. We're gonna mark the weekly close. I think I should be able to right click on that without having to turn that off every time. Weekly close. And I don't think we had much of a low. When I look at the weekly, I think, was there a wick in there? I don't think there is. I don't see a wick. I can't get it. Oh, there it is. I can't get it off of that candle. I don't think there's much of a wick. Anybody else see a wick on the weekly chart? I'm not sure why
No, not much of a wick at all.
yeah, oh, I see a little bit. It's just a little bit. But that's the weekly. That's such a crazy, crazy candle. for the week, top to bottom, the high to low. High was 67.64, low 65.50. 214 points was this candle. 200 points, so 214 points for the week that was lost in a week's worth of trading. All right, notice we had a buyer's gap that was here. When I go to the daily, you're gonna be able to see this gap, and there was a gap here that is now gone. Okay, so I got the weekly stuff. The weekly, you want the high, low, open, and close. You want to mark those. There's not a lot of low to mark. The close is good enough. High, low, open, and close. Do we see any support or resistance on the weekly that we want to mark? Let me turn to a line chart. I do see one right in this area, and it shows as the weekly low from a previous week. And that's a, now it's a, I guess it can be a support area. I'm going to call it support and resistance right here in this area around 66.40, 66.44. The rest of this is momentum. There's another spot at 66.64. It showed up as a 15-minute support and resistance, but I think it could also be weekly. I'm gonna put it there. Weekly support and resistance. Okay, why do we put these lines on our chart? So that way when we're trading and the price starts to come back to them, you have some stuff there that says what the price may do when it gets to this area. That's why we mark. That's why we put some stuff on our charts, okay? Okay, so now we're on the daily chart now.
And
We're on
just
the
to
daily chart.
reiterate, you were on the
Okay.
weekly time frame and you went to line
Yeah,
and you marked those two crests, those the two tops of the mountains there.
yep, I marked the
Yeah,
points
the
because I
2 points
wanted to,
there.
yep,
Oh, and the one at the bottom, the valley. Okay,
I marked the peak and the valley. Okay, those are supports and resistances.
got you.
hmm So when we go to the line chart, it's sometimes easier to see them when you're on the line chart than when you're on the candle chart. Okay, let's go to the daily chart now. I'll go back to the candles. So many lines, and I know there are a lot of lines. It's just I don't want to take them off because when price comes back to them, I want to be able to know what it was. What was this? That's why it's good to write you a little note next to them. If you're doing it on TradingView or on Thinkorswim, if you're wherever you're doing your charting, it's good to write you a little something so that in the future you'll know what the line is. Now, Jamie used to do his like in color conventions, and that works for you, then do that. If you want like, blue is all dailies and red is all weeklies, however you want to make it work for you, but definitely you want to have it where you can remember what is what on your charts, right? Which line. Most of mine are like red and orange, but I'm writing things over here so that way I can keep up with them that way. But I hesitate to delete them off my chart because when the price gets back down there, like now, price is down in the 65.50s again. Now we need to make sure that we've got some stuff in that area so we can see what could price possibly do when we get down in that area. Hey, Miss Marsha, Elaine. Nick is here. Possible to get the recording afterwards. Of course, the recording is always available. It's always in our chat. Always, every week, every time we're on Zoom, I always provide the recording. Okay, so now we're on the daily chart. I think we had a gap. Oh, there it is. I wrote buyer's gap here, but then maybe I had taken the gap off and then didn't take the words off. But I believe a few gaps got filled. I know when we were falling, we hit one and then it fell down and touched another one. And I'm trying to see if there's any more that I was missing that I didn't take off of the charts. Whatever gaps was on the way between September 11th and Friday, though, they all got filled Friday. If you had any gaps marked between 67.65 and 65.50, all of those gaps are filled. SPX went back and got them all. Let me see. I'm going to go to the line chart and see if there's anything here that I'm missing from a support and resistance. I've got resistance at 66.93. Got some more up there in the 66. Somebody was on Twitter talking about they give it about a week before SPX is or whatever is back where it was last week. And the last time it did not quite this bad. It did feel the gap. It did go back up pretty fast, but we'll see.
Futures is up too.
Futures is what
Up.
is up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, futures got all night to do its thing. It is a kind of it can indicate when it's
Well, Coach, if that's the case, why don't we? I don't know if you could pull up April, but I mean, that was the, remember we was talking about it Friday, 6 months.
was it April? Oh yeah, you were
Oh,
talking about the
yeah. Whether it was April 2nd or April 9th, I can't remember. I think it was the April 9th, April 9th, April 9th. So if it did go back up um, within a week, if we go back to April, we'll see. And technically, it it did rebound. It was just it was new to us in the fact that all this tariff talk come April, that wasn't, something we kept hearing. Now you hear tariff and you just blow it in the wind. You're like, ain't nothing, because the way he talk. But
like everything else now.
well, right,
Yeah.
right, we got used to it. So
Mhm,
it did go up.
mhm. We'll definitely go back and look. That's a good point.
Yeah, but I think I said October might be the September we missed.
Somebody else said, I saw a post even today that said October did everything September was supposed to do. It did it all in one day.
Boom,
October was like, no reason to waste a whole month on this. Let's just do it all in one day.
boom, Mike.
Yeah. So the bottom of the daily is like 65, 50, 52, somewhere in there. There is another buyer's gap that is quote unquote within shooting distance. Down between 65.30 and 65.45. There's another buyer's gap right down here. And that would drop us right into the 50 period moving average. The 50 is rising up to here. It's 65.29, 65.30, something like that. So could there be a little drop to fill this gap before going? Could be. And then there's another gap that's between 65.12 and 65.17. That's the two gaps that are still down in this general area that we're at. So make sure that you have them marked on your chart. They were created from September the 10th to the 11th. That gap was created. Remember, a gap is the close of one candle to the open of the next. A gap is the close of one candle. So this one closed here and this one opened here, but then you pull back off the price action. So that's price action. So the gap is the big box and you pull back off of any price action that happened. So this is the gap that's left there. I can put that O back there for now. And then there was one from September the 9th to the 10th. That also was a gap, a buyer's gap that was created and hasn't been fully filled yet either. Okay, so make sure you mark them on your chart because SPX is within range. It is within range. Definitely could do some could go on and try to get it. Whether it will or not remains to be seen. Doesn't mean it can't though, right? You want to have your chart marked up so that way you can see. I'm saying what else are we where was price or have we been in this area price wise in a while and it's not looking like it. That we're down in the 65.50s. We were there in September. But we weren't in this same vicinity. Let me see. I want to make sure that if I look at the line, is there something I'm missing in this area? Looks like there's some Oh, that's at weekly open. Let me put another line. Looks like there's some support at 6502, which is not unheard of, seeing that that is a psychological number. That would be a psychological number. What's this daily support? There we go. Make it easier on us. 6502, put psychological number of 6500 is there. The rest of this from there going up is all momentum if you're on the daily chart. Where are we in terms of VWAP? Possible to get the record. Already saw that. Okay. Rhonda showed up. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Andrea.
Hi,
How we doing?
I'm doing well,
Well,
as well as can be expected.
well, it can be expected. Yeah,
We still lifting you up, Rhonda.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. What was I? I was looking at VWAP. Let me turn my VWAP back on. I'm putting VWAP on maybe the monthly. Let's see where we are on the month. Stretching the outer bounds of the VWAP. That's what it's doing. Stretching the bounds. It probably stretched the bounds of, well, definitely probably the month too. Not the month, just the, because it's already the month. It's early in the month, the quarter. VWAP price is gonna try to go back to the price. Will try to go back to the mean. That's what happens. And SPX is way out of the range of its, so you see it's outside of, it is outside of the outer bounds of VWAP. This VWAP is the red here. Where are you? Now it won't show up. Where are you not showing me the band? It was showing it there. There it is. Right at like 65.90 maybe, and the price is at 65.50. So the rubber band will probably try to pull it back in there. But I hesitate. I tell you all, I really want you to, on Monday, give it a beat, right? Give it a beat as usual. Give it a beat. Trade what you see. Don't kind of come in with your preconceived ideas. It dropped so much, it's got to go up. Well, sooner or later, this is true. And it just might just start going up right away. Or it dropped so much, it's got some more to go down. Yep, it might. But you don't have to release your collateral right off rip and jump in with everybody else who's got some idea or notion on what's going to happen. You don't have to put your money out there. We can wait. All right, we're sellers. We can wait and see what had happened. All right, we can see what happens. We don't have to jump in.
So does that mean you didn't do a 1DTE, coach?
I did. I did. I did. But my one DTE was based on the end of the day, end of
Okay.
the
Gotcha.
end of Friday, right? And now in the mornings when we go in the mornings, I'm going in with the mindset of closing up my junk. I'll be going in on close up. I'm not open. I'm trying not to open up nothing too quick. I'm just trying to close up what we got.
I accidentally put in a strike. I was trying to follow your trade, and I think you put 6660
Yeah, I
and
did it by mistake.
6665,
Yeah.
and I did 6660, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
think I did 6650.
Uh-huh.
So 6650 and 6660 is 10 wide.
Yeah, that's 10 wide. Yeah.
So I mistakenly went 10 wide.
And did you do it right? Because if you put if you put the 50 in front of that 60, that ain't even a call credit spread anymore. It's a debit spread.
Right. It is a let me see. Hold on now.
Yeah, because if you mix those numbers up, you might have a whole different trade going.
Hold up now.
Yeah, you might have some. Tell me what you got.
Right, I'm logging right in here.
Okay.
I'm looking at the positions. But don't let me disrupt your
Right.
train of thought, man.
So we did look at Friday. It was good hanging out. I always have a good time hanging out with us on Fridays during our calls, even though we stay there all day. But this is what Friday looked like for us. Put this VWAP back on session, and then I'm gonna silence VWAP. But this massive 1045
Man, I
candle,
think you're right though, man. I think you're right.
yeah.
My call sell leg is 66.50.
Okay, the sell leg is
The sell leg is 66.50.
okay,
The
and your buy
buy
leg.
leg, the one I'm long on, is 6660.
Okay, that's fine. You're all right.
Am I right?
Yeah, as long as the sell leg is closest to the price, you're all right. It's when you flip them around, it's when the buy leg gets closer to price that you got a problem. No, you're fine. But it is
Let me
10
put,
wide. That is 10 wide.
dang, let me put
That
it because
part, that part's true.
I think it, if you say it's true, I'm gonna believe you. I'll
Yeah,
look at it. I'm
it
gonna rock
is.
with
I
you.
mean, what
Okay.
you just told me, that is
Yep.
it is 10 wide and it is a sell trade.
Okay.
So yeah, we had Friday, it kind of dropped a little bit, was kind of dancing around, moved up a little bit more. Then we had this massive drop. It didn't at this breakout, the opening range breakout, we gave it a minute. Miss Marsha had asked earlier on Friday if if you got the 15 minutes has passed and you're waiting for data, should you still wait for the 15-minute? And this was the 10th over here. Should you still wait for the 15 minutes? And I said you could wait 15, you could do the 30, you could do another time, but the 15 minutes still held. We had based on that, the 15, I'm on the 15-minute chart now. This was, oh goodness, that's not what we wanted. We want the 15 minutes went, across here, across the top, across the bottom. And once it broke out of that 15 minutes, that's where you went, this breakout right here opened up call credit spreads. We're trading what we see and opened up call credit spreads. And you honestly could have call it credit spreaded all day long.
All right.
Because it just kept doing that all day. Put you a call credit spread on, put your PDT hack on, and just went. Now, when it got down here to these failed twos, we had some failed twos in this area. I thought we were going to stop. So we got like 6,600 or something like. I think I got 65.85. 60, that's what I posted, 65.80 and 85, thinking we were below 6,600. And then once it started bumping up against 6,600 down around in here, it like it wanted to turn back. But then once it started bumping up against there, I was like, I don't really know. So I exited and I put that in the chat and said I'm gonna go on and go. And then I actually said something in the chat too. I said, if you're not in something, but you want to be 60, 65.95 and 6,600 might work. But I said I wasn't getting in it. I wasn't getting into it. It wasn't because I didn't, but that I was thinking there was going to be some more downwards action because I didn't think there was going to be any more downwards action. I was not anticipating some more of a drop after all the dropping that had happened. I was not expecting the rest of this. That I was not expecting the rest of that. I really felt like this 2-2 in the middle here was maybe a potential try to reversal, even if it just reversed and held in here. I was not expecting at 230 for it to fall like this and continue, but not this massive last one, this last minute one. I was not expecting all of that. So um
Yeah, 187 points is crazy.
it was a lot. It was a lot. But again, what we do. I like trading reversals, and you all know that. That's why you'll see me when we get a reversal. I'll put a reversal trade in before Match Gate Ball put something else out. Because I like reversal. Failed two downs. This is
Hmm.
gonna go two down right here. I like reversals, but then we have to also look to see. So if I would have gone to the hourly time frame, there's no reversal on this hourly time frame. So we have to remember when we're doing that, I have to remember, you all have to remember, if we're going to look to trade the reversal on the 30-minute chart, right? On the 30-minute chart, we've got a reversal looking in here. The, failed 2 down, going back to the upside, not too strong. Next candle, and Janae made this point the other day that we got to confirm maybe that second candle. Next candle looking kind of doji-ish. It really didn't confirm that we were going in the upwards. Actually, this is a failed 2 up. So this is a failed 2 down, which we're going to talk a whole lot about failed 2 ups and failed 2 downs tomorrow. But this was a failed 2 up, but then the next one is a failed 2 down. So this is basically consolidation, these 2 candles. And then the third one is just a doji, pretty much, right? So if I had gone to the hourly chart, on the 30-minute chart, it did say, yep, I'm turning around. On the hourly chart, though, there is no symptom of a turnaround. There is I'm chilling right here in the middle. There's this one, which was where those 2 twos were right there in that candle. On the hourly chart, it was a 1 candle, and a 1 candle is a do nothing candle, right? So if y'all watch that, if you watch the strat video that I put in the Telegram, I gave you that video to kind of warm your mind up for the information tomorrow. But a 1 candle is a do nothing candle. It's a consolidation. It's we figuring it out. We leave the 1 candle until we get a breakout. And then what happened? It broke out to the downside. And I think I might have said this on the call, was like, this is breaking out to the downside. After that 1 broke out, was like, okay, it's going down some more. And it did just that. It kept going down.
Question. So when did that put that you put in,
Mm-hmm.
what made you get out?
When it was bouncing at 6,600,
Yeah.
and it was looking like it was gonna go through, because I was expecting 6,600 to hold it as a psychological number, but when
Fair.
it kept bouncing and then it pushed through, I was like, this right here ain't gonna hold. So I was like, let me just go on, let me be safe versus sorry. And I had already made money on my 1 DTE, and my call credit spread was fine. Like, I'm not trying to stay here and worry about this the rest of the day.
Okay,
So
so it wasn't strat, it was just the momentum of
the momentum
what
of
was
the day.
going on. Okay.
And then when we looked at the strat, I think we did go to the hourly chart, and I said this was breaking out to the downside. I was like, I don't want to. And I think I wrote the note there in the comments going, I'm getting out of this, not
Yeah,
because
you
I'm.
did right. You getting out. I just didn't know if it was because it was still at the
It
time
wasn't
I
there
think you
yet.
got out.
Yeah,
Truth be told, I think we still had more than a half hour in the, you know what I mean? We still had
it wasn't
a
there yet.
little bit of time, like 40 minutes or so. So,
Yeah,
and it's Friday, right? So of
yeah,
course this coming Friday is gonna be Freaky Friday, right?
yeah,
But okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I was
I have
like,
a question.
go ahead, Tanya.
So, when we do the opening range breakout,
Mm-hmm.
um, lately it feels like you have to get in right away, or chasing price for the spread. But my question is, for the reversal, you're saying that we should double check on the higher time frame.
Yes,
So are you suggesting that for the opening range breakout as well?
yeah.
So like if
Uh-huh.
we're on the 15-minute time frame, you're saying check the 30 and the 1 hour before you
Uh-huh.
actually get in.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
because remember we had talked it's been a few weeks back now, but we had talked about doing the 30-minute opening range breakout, because that's going to give more positive signals than it was the 15 minutes, right? We talked about,
Right.
let's do the 30-minute one. And then we also had some discussion about the 1 hour breakout, that I think Ariane has done the 1 hour breakout. And of course this is the 1 hour candle. So let me put some lines on it. This is the 1 hour candle, that first one there, that little doji-ish thing. Come on, give me my pencil. So this is the 1 hour candle right here. So if you were, because it didn't break out till 10:45. So if you were on the 15-minute, 30-minute, or 1 hour breakout, this was a clear signal that it was breaking out. The 1 hour is going to be a stronger signal than the 30-minute, and 30 minutes is going to be a stronger signal than 15. So yes, to answer your question, if it's breaking out on 15, then you can confirm that with the higher time frame. Yes. And I want to also answer the question about chasing. So if you've got a confirmed breakout, Magic 8 Ball may say 67, 65, 65, 65, 70 or something like that. Just because Magic 8 Ball gives you some strikes, remember they say they're example trades. If you feel confident that it's going to be a good breakout and keep going, then you are completely within your technical knowledge to get something closer. You can go 60, 65. If they suggest 65, 70, you pick 60, 60, 65. That's going to give you a few more dollars. Especially if you feel like the move is it's a breakout. You've confirmed that it is a breakout. Pick one strike or two strikes closer. 67, 55, 60. That's going to give you more money when you enter, right? Even if it's $1 or 95 cents, if you get more money when you enter, of course, you're going to be able to get more money on your PDT hack when you're getting out.
So I have to be honest with you. I've been looking at gamma and the strikes and what the premium is to decide what
Mm-hmm.
strikes I'm gonna choose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I'm my goal is to get one so I could do a PDT hack for
Mm-hmm.
less.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always feel like when I get in for one, the price, if it start dropping fast, then I lose that one. But that's an error in my part. If those are strikes I chose, I should put it in, and more than likely it's gonna come back to that price.
It could. Or
It
if you
could.
want $1, if it comes back to if it's at 95 or 90 cents, if it's somewhere in the general vicinity, then then you might want to adjust and go with it. Now, if you want $1 and it drops to 60 cents, you might say, okay, I'm not chasing it. But if you want $1 and it goes down to 90 cents, that's still good proximity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want you to miss a trade because it's not exactly $1, especially if it's like 95 cents or 90 cents. If you believe that the trade is going to do what you want it to do, like, well, I want $1 and it's 95 cents. It's like that's $5 more. Go ahead and get in the trade if you believe in it. Now, if it's $1 and you say I want $1, I don't want 60 cents, then that's different. That's a much bigger difference in price, right?
You're right. I need to adjust my thinking.
Okay. Of course, we know that if you take in more and your original, then price don't have to move as far to give you, and because then you also got to make sure that you're comfortable and you decide on the front side, what am I taking? What is my amount I want to get from my PDT hack? And if that's an amount you want, okay, you say I want 35, 40, $50. I'm setting it for that. And then when it gets there, maybe I'll adjust it. If it's dancing, I see the price is still going in my direction, then I change it to maybe $55 and then I change it to 60. But you don't let it go back below the $50 that you originally said you wanted to get. So we don't get greedy once it's going the way we want it and end up losing out on all of our profits because we were trying to get $5 more on the PDT hack. Go ahead and set it, get your collateral back, and decide if you're doing another trade or not. Because we'd rather have a sure 50, a sure 40 than a questionable none or questionable 25. You know what I'm saying? If you can lock in, if you can lock in 40 and 50, you're gonna be cool. Yes, I'll take my 40 and $50. Yeah, I know I started with $1, and by the end of the day, you could be like, well, I could have kept all my money. True, but you locked in your $50. This is where we hit our base hit, base hit, base hit. And I get it. I already know because I know for me, I'll be saying, well, I could held out and got, I might set it for 475 and be like, that's $25 I'm leaving on the table. But then when my 475 pick up, I'm like, whoo, I ain't even got to worry about that right now. I can go do something else until I get ready to go enter my another trade. So once my PDT hack locks, my mind is clear of having to worry about it until I go to the next trade. If I go to another trade, I don't even, sometimes you don't have to necessarily go to another one because I've locked in profits.
I recently used a day trade for the first time
Mm.
to lock in profit.
Mm-hmm.
I would exclusively lose my day trades as a stop loss mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I would say, hey, I want to set my stop to be 3 times my premium received, and I would just keep
Mm-hmm.
my stop there and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
But today, or I'm sorry, I think it was either Thursday or Friday, was the first time I said I'm gonna use the
For
PDT. I'm gonna use
profit.
my day trade to
Mm-hmm.
actually close a trade that was in profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good too. Of course, you got to be, wise in how you use them. You get three every 5 days, but yeah, look, closing it in profit is a good feeling too. The PDT hack, or just close it and take your money off the table. Mm-hmm. We always want to lock in our profits, and we want to stack small base hits. Small base hit. They ain't got to be small. $50 a day. That's $250 a week. We look at it kind of small, and I think it's so weird that we do that. We look at $50 a day and be like, that ain't the $50 on our trade. We're like, that ain't no money. But when you start thinking about $50 a day, if that's all you did was one trade and took in $50, that's $250 a week, which is another $1,000 a month. If you just did that every day, that's another $1,000 a month. And I know every household on this phone could use another $1,000 a month.
You already know.
I know, and we know we can do $50 a day almost without trying. We can do $50 a day with very little effort. Literally, like that's super easy for. I mean, when I say super easy, that's really super easy for us now. We've gotten to the place where $50 a day, it feels like it was a light day, and we'll be in the profits. Like if I post $50, I ain't really done nothing, and you're think, but if you think about $50 a day is $250 a week, another
And you didn't
$1,000 a
have to
month.
leave your house for it. You didn't have to get another job for it.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we got bougie. We got bougie.
We
Yeah.
done got booty. We
We
have
got bougie. We got bougie.
at $50. Nobody want that.
Exactly. I don't think we post 50 no more.
I don't want that. I don't want that. But if you think about it, $50 is somebody wishing they could pull in $50 a day. Cause they not. So other people are not. And there was times, listen, there was times when we were not. When we weren't making
Oh yeah.
$50. And we were so
Oh yeah.
glad for our 25. We were so glad to have our $25, but we was happy, right?
Really?
Green
Oh
is
yeah, there
green.
was times when we were. This been a long journey for us, Avery. We've been on this journey a
Yes.
while.
Yes.
So there was times we were like so glad to have our $25.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you for
I
the
remember I was happy just to make $300 to pay a bill for the month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And now we $300 a day, and we looking at each other crazy like $300 all you made today, and that's plenty. That's good money. That's good money. That's good money.
Yeah,
Listen,
I haven't made that
$35
much
a
yet.
day is good money too.
Good money. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
good money, Miss Marsha. It's really,
Consistent.
yes, consistent good money. I just think we have to really watch our perspective. We really have to be mindful of that. $35 per contract. If you decide Miss Marsha and TJ does that, repeat. You do $35 per contract. You decide you're gonna do 2 contracts, 35 each, 70. You decide you're gonna do 3. If you can repeatedly just pop in 35, that allows you opportunity to start to scale up because
Just stack up.
$35 doesn't take as much time. You ain't in that trade. Y'all see Miss Marshall in a trade and she in and out in 15, 20 minutes. Y'all like, Miss Marshall gone already. She off in her garden. We still sitting at the computer sweating over whether the price finna turn back. Miss
Yeah,
Marshall
with the 2
gone.
days. Yep, she did it right. Yeah, we
She
not
gone.
despising small beginners. We
Yeah.
joking
Yeah.
about it, but yeah,
Yeah, we are. We are, but I really want us to also keep our perspective there all the time that 35, $50 a day, that's good steady money. That's good steady money. $35 a day is what? 140, 100 and $175?
And 700 a month. Up a
Yes.
bill.
We go, Miss Marsha. There we go. Covered.
I could pay some bills with 700 a month.
We could pay some
Mhm.
bills with that. We could pay some bills with
we
that.
gonna need to because electricity going up, y'all.
Everything going up, right? Everything going up.
Just want to share one thing. Friday was the first time I could make 40 on one contract.
There you go.
Never did that before.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations one
Thank
time.
you.
Wasn't that a
Congratulations
good
though.
feeling?
Sorry.
Wasn't that a good feeling?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a
Uh-huh.
good beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Never did that before. So
Yep.
Especially on Friday. Hello.
On Friday. Hello.
You hit it
Right,
on the
because
day that it was the craziest.
Freaky Friday.
some of us lost money on Friday.
Some
Oh,
of them,
big
but you
time.
still, your
Big
week was
time.
good. Your week turned out good.
Yeah, yeah. No, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
thank you.
Let's look at what's coming up this week because we've got some stuff. I didn't do YouTube. I was grading papers. I had to go all the way to school to pick them up. My husband went to pick them up, but they weren't done taking the test because, of course, they got there and the room was locked again. So my husband, when he got off work to go pick the papers up, they weren't ready yet. So he left them on the south side. I had to go pick them up myself. So I went to go get them today and I had to grade. So I was grading papers instead of doing YouTube. I said, let me work the job that really pays, right? But let's look at what may be coming. I was watching a video earlier today, and I can send the link to you. It was Wall Street Trapper did a really good video, I thought, on the rare earths thing. USAR is the stock he was talking about, but he was talking about the whole rare earths thing, the rare earths rally, which I think is, I thought it was, I don't really know a lot about rare earths. So to watch that video and maybe kind of go and do a little more research to talk about what all that really means. You may already know, so you may not need to do no more research, but I did. So I watched a video by Wall Street Trapper today that was while I was driving. I thought it was really, I listened while I was driving because I know somebody finna say, you was watching videos and driving? I was listening and driving. Stocks dip as the shutdown continues. Rare earths rally the week ahead. The market will fly blind on key points of economic data that would publish this week if it weren't for the gridlock in Washington. Big banks are getting ready to have earnings coming up. China tells U.S. to back off of the threats and warns of retaliation. Yeah, it just the Pentagon steps up stockpiling of minerals with $1 billion buying spree. Some stuff I don't think we need to put in the news, but yeah, it's what it is. Uh, China's not afraid of a trade war, accuses US of double standard for rare earths retaliation. I think China's message that Trump put out a message on Friday that talked about, I guess China is trying to become the processor, like the 80% or the majority processor of all the rare earth stuff so that they would have a monopoly. And that's really where the issue is coming in from what I understand that has going on with that. Government shutdown. Vance says fraud is rife in ACA tax credits use. Israel hostages. Okay, we'll go on from that. Let's look at the what things are coming up this week, right? So on tomorrow is a bank holiday, so the banks and all those, many of you all probably got a day off from work tomorrow too, depending on your job. Federal Powell is going to speak on Tuesday at 12:20. Powell is going to speak. There's our red folder there. On Wednesday, we've got Empire State Manufacturing Index. And as far as red folders, there's nothing there from that standpoint. And then Thursday, we've got people. This data, which would normally be data we would get, PPI data we would normally get from the government, we're not getting. Unemployment claims, this is data we would have. Producer price index, which this is inflation-based information, we're not going to get unless the government opens up this week. So there's that. And then on Friday, there's nothing there for Friday. So
Man,
those are the things
man,
that are,
speaking of trap, can I ask you something real quick?
yep.
He mentioned in one of his videos that after 30 days of government shutdown, the government employees lose their benefits. Is that true?
Yeah, that was radical. I hope not. I'm still trying to ask people about that, but that was insightful. That was insightful. He
Yeah, I
said
don't
that.
know.
He said that on Tuesday, and it was what Voight would want, who is the OMB, the uh, managing a budget director and the critical writer of Project 2025. He's chilling on the sideline. They waiting us down. If that is true, then give it 30 days. That's the quickest way to free up some money from the government. It's like, bye. We ain't paying for y'all. If benefits if 30 days extends past the shutdown to what Trap was saying, and that's what Trap was saying, then if you had benefits, you don't work 30 days, you don't have no benefits. Now,
What about the people who are working but not being paid? Because there are people who are still working but not being paid.
well, um, I'm quite sure there's a gray line with that.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it makes me wonder because I think, yo, what's that insurance that kicks in for government that's super expensive? I can't remember.
Cobra.
Yes, Cobra. So
Yeah.
that made me think of that right away. I was like, yeah, it's 30 days. I really hope it doesn't extend to. I mean, I'll be gone before then, and I really pray that this government is back and functioning before I get back. But
Yeah.
yeah, he said 30 days, and I thought that was critical. And it would be one of those silent things that people don't really know because they're not thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But to what Trap said, and to the person who is the orchestrator of 2025, that would be one of the seamless ways to just like get people off the rolls.
Mm. Yeah, that would be well, much prayer. We need to keep praying because there's
Thank you for that.
a lot of stuff that's happening here. All right, so we've got the earnings calendar is here. Some earnings are coming up. The banks are going to start up starting Tuesday. JP Morgan is Tuesday, Citibank, um, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, they're all Tuesday. Wednesday, Bank of America is here, Synchrony Bank, Morgan Stanley, First Horizon Citizens. Wednesday after close, United. I think this says Banner Bank. Yeah, Banner Bank, Synovus, First Industrial, all those. And then Thursday, we've got Taiwan Semiconductors, Key Bank, Travelers, Charles Schwab is there. Bancorp is there, M&T Bank. Thursday after the close, CSX Interactive Brokers is there. Bank of the Ozarks, First National, Simmons Bank. Friday, SLB, Alley, First Third Bank, State Street, American Express, Truist, Huntington, Regions. All those are going to be this week. So the banks are starting up. They lead the way for our earnings season. So we're in fourth quarter earnings. In case we didn't have anything else to be mindful of, we get to add this to the pot. We get to add earnings in there too.
And Friday is OPEX.
And Friday is the third Friday of the month. So this week, we're not trading on Friday, right? Are we gonna finally do it once? Because we also said we wasn't trading on OPEX. We've said that so many times.
Can I say this? Because I'll be away. I'm not trading on Friday.
You don't get to say it just because you ain't gonna be
There
here.
you go.
That's what we say. We keep saying all this time. We not trading on a Friday. I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna say today. I'm committing to not trading on Friday. I am gonna you know what? And interestingly enough, Peakbot had some issue on Friday because y'all noticed that none of my Peakbot things filled. So I sent Dylan a message like about 3. I was like, none of the Peakbot. I thought at first it was just because of all the volatility. And so then I sent her a message about 3 o'clock and I was like, none of my peak bot things filled. Is the bot offline? So then they went investigating and I didn't hear what happened next, but none of my peak bot things filled. So now they probably will fill Monday if whatever the problem was. But so my weeklies, I don't have weeklies at this point. They probably will fill tomorrow. And so that I will have some weeklies, but I'm not gonna trade on Friday. That I'm gonna say that now that I am not trading on Friday.
You just gonna
Ooh,
close out your one DTE from
I'm gonna
Thursday, right?
close out. I'm gonna close out my stuff and not place any new trades on Friday. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
That's our plan. That's the plan now, y'all. We're not gonna trade on Friday, especially not on. We have talked about OPEX days being
Mm,
so
mm,
crazy.
mm,
Haven't we talked about it so
mm,
many times?
mm, Well, we good at it now, but
We good at it now. Like, why stop trading on it now? We good. We know what to do. We
But
know what to do now.
but this past Friday, if that's any indicator, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we managed this past Friday. We managed.
This is true. Yes, there were
Took some
some.
losses,
Yeah,
but we managed.
yeah.
We
No, you're
managed
right.
well.
You're right. You're right. That
Can
was
I
and I
body with
think
a question? I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Janae.
real quick, I was just gonna say when you go back to the chart, I think the other indicator for that drop was that failed too, right, Coach?
Yep. This was this right here. Failed to
No,
up.
not that
Oh,
one.
not that one.
Not that one. Are you on a daily?
Oh, I can be.
No, not the daily. I'm sorry. Whatever. What was the one that had the fail to on the day of before the 10:45 drop?
Mm,
I
30
could,
minutes.
I thought we had something. Or is this the chart?
This is the 30-minute chart. Both of those, was it 15?
Maybe it was 15. Because there was one.
Yep, there it is. The failed to. We talked about it.
Yeah,
So,
around 10 o'clock
yep.
or after 10.
It was a failed, it was actually 9:45-ish. This was a failed two up that kind of let you know.
Mhm.
And this was kind of a failed two down, but it was so doji. This wasn't doing nothing. This was the failed two up, right? The failed two up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That part.
Avery, what was your question?
I'm starting to gather your reasoning for entering in the one DTEs
Mm-hmm.
trades towards the end of the day, kind of based on the strat.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it on IWM. I think we had like a failed two up or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's where I wanted to
And
go next.
oh, okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, and you put in I think you put in a call credit spread off of the failed two up. But
Mm-hmm.
my question around the weeklies is it the same technique or strategy, but on a 1 week time frame? So I'm waiting for the week to close and looking at is there signs of reversal on the weekly and putting in a trade based on that.
Right. So when I'm looking at the weekly, I'm looking at is IWM or SPX, is it in a bearish or bullish situation going out of the week? So it's kind of, yeah, is it showing signs of weakness from the week, or is it showing strength? And both of these were neither IWM nor SPX was showing strength coming out of the week. So that's what makes me go out further on the weeklies. I look at that to see from a weekly standpoint what's the deal. So just real quick, for when I'm looking at the IWM as our 1 DTEs, right? When I'm looking at our 1 DTEs, I'm looking toward the end of the day. I look at two things. I look at the daily candle and I look at the 1 hour candle. So I'm looking at I'm in like 3:30-ish. So I'm looking at the 1 hour chart and I'm looking at the daily chart. So this one here, this is, which we probably need to chart IWM. This here is a failed to up, which is a bearish signal. Failed to up is a bearish signal. And you basically, I mean, you look at, this, what is this? What do they call it? A little setup, one leg in, base, leg
Evening
out.
star. You
Yeah,
got it.
evening star. You got all kind of names. Leg in, base, leg out. This actually the red would be the leg out, not that green one. But this was our failed to up here, and the next day was down. So then I went and looked and said, okay, that's for that day. So now I'm looking at day Tuesday. I'm looking at Tuesday to say, okay, now Tuesday was a two down. It filled the gap. There was a daily buyer's gap that it filled. We can take this off our chart now because it's been filled, right? So I'm looking here to say, but then there was some buyers that stepped in here. Buyers that we still could have done. I think this part of the week we were still doing iron condors Monday and Tuesday. I still was doing iron condors, but this is a one candle. Oh, this was the one when we on this particular day, I did the iron condor, but then we got to Wednesday. I told you it was a one candle, and a one candle is a do nothing candle. So we did not do, sorry, so we did not do, there was no one DTE this day because it was a one candle. And on the one candle, we don't do anything because that it could go either way the next day. So we didn't do a one DTE on Wednesday. I waited till the end of the day, Thursday. Again, look to see what we're looking at. This is another failed to up. It's a red candle with a green. So it went up above the previous candle, but it didn't close up there. This is a failed to up, which is a bearish signal. So I did a call credit spread going from Thursday into Friday. We did call credit spreads as our one DTE on IWM and on SPX because they both had the same look. So we did a one DTE just call credit spread. So I told y'all I was going to just do one side. I was going to quit trying to make my one, make my iron condors work. I'm like, let's just do one side. Got a much better. It actually is less work. It's less stress on me too. If I just go with one side, that way I ain't got to think about whether the other side is going to get breached or not. I can just do one side. So we did that. And then after yesterday, I also did a call credit spread for the weekend. But that's what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I look at the daily chart and I'm looking at the hourly chart in that 3 o'clock hour. I'm looking at those two things. And I'm picking strikes for IWM, I'm picking strikes outside of the candle. So like, for example, if I'm doing this Thursday, I pick the candle, I'm picking 247, 248. So I'm using the outer bounds of that candle. I'm using the outer bounds of this candle as entry for the next day. Now I could have went 248, 249, but it wasn't as much money. And if you feel like it's going to be bearish, you can get a little bit close. I mean, the top of this is like 247.18. So I went with 247, 248, right? So you use the candle to help you pick the strikes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. There was one trade that you put in last week. I forget which one it was, but I thought it was like it was one that you said was risky. And you were like, hey, this one's risky. And I think it was an overnight trade, it was a DTE trade. And I thought it was, if I followed the trade right, I thought it was breached. And I was thinking like, oh, what made her have caution around that it was a risky trade. And I think maybe it was the moneyness. Like I think because of where it was,
because
how
it was
much
so
premium
close
you
to the
got.
price. The premiums, you get good premiums and you get close to current price. You just asking if it pulled back any, then you in the danger zone. Because if you want, like if you're willing to take, you 10, 12, it's fine. But if you want to get 15 to 20, you're gonna have to get a little closer. So when you get higher premiums, it's gonna become more risky.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Janae, were you getting ready to ask a question? Thought I heard somebody's voice. Maybe it wasn't Janae. Somebody else was asking a question about the 1DTEs. When I picked the SPX 1DTEs though, remember I told y'all I was going to be very conservative. I was going to very conservative for the SPX 1DTE. So what I've been doing there is going out to where it's beyond the gamma wall and we can get like $50 or $60. Right. So I'm going out far enough to where we're not in the danger zone at all, very conservative, where we can just take in about $60 with the plan to close it for like $5 or $10 early in the day. That's why I'm picking far enough away. Now you could I'm suggesting a strike, but you definitely could get a little closer if you're feeling a little more frisky. I told you I was just going to be very conservative with those. And the reason is, you see that as I'm doing mine, I'm doing, 10 contracts. I'm not trying to be in the fire with 10 contracts. So I'm making it real conservative if you want to be someplace. But again, remember, $50 for just waiting for overnight is good money. If all you doing is sleeping on it and the next day you close it, that's good money. Don't be like, this is only $50. All you did was sleep. You didn't even have to worry about fighting price action at first. You just had to wait for time to decay. Keep that in mind. Go ahead, Nika. What's your question?
Hey, yeah, I really
Hey.
wanted to talk about too the iron condors
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm really becoming a lot more interested in doing those
Mm-hmm.
consistently. The more research I've been doing about them, they just seem like you can a lot more days are
Consolidation days.
yeah.
That's true.
So
And they are. So when they're consolidation days, it's fine. It's when they're not that is that is not fine.
right. But we could be really out of the money.
Yeah.
And I like that too,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
way out of the money
Yeah.
and still capturing, premium without putting yourself in the middle of a firestorm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely when if you're on, you're looking to enter at the end of the day, do the same thing. Maybe look far enough away. Maybe if you get 50 or 60 on one side, maybe the other side, you just add another 20 or $25. So you go even further away, especially if you feel like that it's going to be bearish, then you can maybe get a little bit closer on the call credit spread side, but then go a little bit further on the put credit spread side because you want to
Mm,
give room then, and you don't need you don't need equal money on both sides, right? So you can say, okay, I feel like this is going to be bearish. So maybe on the top trade, if I'm talking about SPX now, maybe on the top trade, I look for $50, but on the bottom trade, I look for 25. That's going to
mm,
take you even further away from the strikes. That way you still are going to take in $75 in total using the same collateral. But if you already know it's going to be bearish, you give yourself a little more room to the downside.
okay.
That's just a thought.
I like that thought. I do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll talk about that in our private lesson too, because I want to get good at that. I feel like that's my call. That's my calling.
Oh yeah, now we love a good iron condor now, but
hmm
they can't get you because one side will be done and the other side you sweating. And you're like, if I had just done one side, I'd be done with this.
Yeah, and especially for the same collateral,
Yeah,
using the same collateral, and then and sometimes it's not worth it to me personally to put myself in, like, because it's still $450 of, if it's a five wide spread, that's still
true.
$450 for that $50.
That's true.
Is that worth it for me? You know what I mean? Is that stress worth it? So I still have to mitigate that. Now, is it worth it at $75? That's more worth it for me. It is definitely worth it at $1.
Yeah, yeah. Well, potentially. So now the other thought to think about is, okay, it's not worth the $50 for the 450, but is the 75 worth it if I'm going to put myself closer into harm's way because I'm getting on a side that I don't believe is going to be that's going to manage it. Now, like most days, you of course aren't going to see like this Friday where it drops like this. But if for Friday on SPX, which I had closed our weekly the previous day, but if I, for example, had done an iron condor for Friday, if we had done an iron condor for Friday,
hmm
whatever money, the way it fell on Friday, that put credit spread money would have been gone. So though this was a very unnatural move as much as far as how much it moved that day, but I had just done a call credit spread. If I had done a put credit spread, I would have been somewhere, I probably would have been, in the 66.20s. I'd have been in this area somewhere and that would have been blasted. So it wouldn't have, even if I had taken in money on both sides, if I had taken in $100 total, to lose the other 400 because this trade got blasted would not have been worth it. So, especially because I then said, okay, this really is going to be more bearish. So a call credit spread is a better trade. Not knowing that Friday was going to do like it did,
Mm-hmm.
but the sureness of the $60 on the call credit spread side. And again, if you want more, more money, you put on more contracts. Is a little more peaceful because you're on the one, you wouldn't think about it like this, Nika. If you knew a stock was going up, would you buy puts?
No.
No. So if you knew a stock was going down, would you buy calls?
No.
Right. So if you know a stock is going down, you don't know how hard this is going to go down like it did this way, but to do put credit spreads, knowing or having a strong belief that it's going to go down, then that same thought is, then let's not do put credit spreads because I believe it's going down, and that will be just like buying calls. And it's taken me a minute to get here, obviously, because y'all know I will do an iron condor, period. But the thought is this, it is this, and I've had to walk myself around this tree a few times. If, Arlissa, you really believe based on what you're looking at, price is going to go down, then why would you get a put credit spread and put yourself in front of the train? Why even risk it? There would be no reason to buy calls if you believe the stock was going down. There would be no reason to buy puts if you believe that price was going up. Same thing with our credit spreads. If you really believe it's
Well,
going
I wasn't necessarily saying to do the whole, basically, I call it legging in. I'm not sure if
yeah,
that's technical, but I really, because
in pieces. I
yeah,
said do it in pieces.
legging in pieces, yeah. So
Yeah.
then that way I put on and I mean, essentially, I think we did do that. That's exactly what we sort of do a lot,
Yeah, we do it in pieces.
So
Yes, we do. Yes, we definitely do it in pieces. After we've seen some price action and we see that there is a reversal, we definitely will go get on the other side because I'm gonna try to get an iron condor more times than not. If I can, I'm trying to.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm all for it. Believe me, I'm all for it. I'm just thinking about on our one DTEs where I was really trying to do them for every one DTE. I had to get to the place where I was like, I don't know if I really want. I should do them for our one DTEs. When during the day when I'm able to watch and know all and see all the things, and then I've got some control over what's happening today, where I can see the reversals. Then that's where our iron condors. To me, I can do those.
Mm.
I can do those in our
Mm.
zero DT. That's
Well,
where
those
your
have
leg
been
in.
working. I mean, have you looked at your success rate with those? I think those have been working
They
really
have
well.
been working. Our zero DTE rocks for sure.
The one DTE.
When the one DTEs do too now, but for a while they weren't doing as well because I was trying to do iron condors. But now that I've quit doing that, they work much better.
Oh, okay.
Once I quit being hard headed, they work much better.
Okay.
Absolutely. What
Okay.
other questions do we have? Do we have some more questions?
Man, the gamma on Friday was something I've never seen. Like
Thank you for
you
bringing that
said,
up. Yes, that gamma all green. We got to put that into our notebooks because I've never seen gamma all red. Sorry, not
all
all.
red.
I've never
Yeah.
seen gamma all red. I've never seen it. So that's something we'll want to put into our journals for what does when we see it where there then it had a little bit of green that popped up and then it went all red again. Gamma was like, I can't. And when it slipped off that slope, it was no recovering.
You know what was interesting because I looked at that video. That was a great video that you sent about the strat. And I went back to went back to trading view and
Mm-hmm.
looked at the Thursday before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was that purple surrounded by red. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, oh my goodness, because we were all talking about how Magic 8 Ball kept saying it was printing just calls, 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 calls,
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it fell hard. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna put that in as you got to look at that because I didn't pay attention to that before.
Yeah, that 8 ball. I was like, what is this 8? I'm sorry to disrupt your flow.
No, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That, I said,
Yeah.
why is this 8 ball recommending CC
It was
call
still
credits? That
saying
don't make no
calls.
sense.
And we said that.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, it's still saying calls. And then right after that, the drop was massive because Avery was looking at
Yeah.
maybe getting into that trade. And then
That's a
the drop
fact.
was massive. Was massive. This is Friday's Magic 8 Ball. And earlier, this is so the earlier part of the day, like 10, this is 9, this is 10:30. There was some green make like we was gonna have a little movement. I was looking up here going, okay, 67, 70. I think we got it. We was in something up here. And then it kind of drifted a little bit to the flip zone, drifted to the flip zone, right? Drifted to the flip zone some. And then next thing you know, it was sliding, 10:40, 10:45. It was still, but 10:45 is where the massive drop started happening. And then next you know, it went from 10:55. This was a 10:55 chart to 11 o'clock. That 5 minute window, it went down into the middle of all this red, all that green like dissipated, and then it just slid some more and kept sliding. And so, the green was like disappearing. And I was like, ooh, we are past all these big reds, which is where those are like the slippery slopes. It had done slid off those slopes. And as I was saying, the brokers, the dealers are trying to bring it back to the right, but they were in the middle of the fire. 11:35, there was no green. No green to see at all. Then a little bit showed up at 11:45, and then a little bit, then just a little. Then next thing you know, 12:05 gone again. No more green. And I have never seen Gamma do this. I've never seen it. So now this is something to add to our experience bank. Something to add to the experience bank. It tried to come back to the right. So now the big red candles got smaller because again, the dealers, all this time, the dealers are hedging, trying to move it back to the right because the dealers don't want it to go but so far. So they're add fire. They're putting on more trades. They're doing all the things to try to move it to the right. But then sometimes when you're trying to move it to the right, you just basically you can make it slip more to the left because you add oil to try to balance it, and then next you know you got a bigger fire than you had. So then it's moving to the right a little bit. Still, then we got a little piece of green showed up here at 60, 6,700. You're like, yeah, right. We're no way we're going there. Gamma's negative 11,000, negative 11,000, negative 12,000. It's still doing it, trying to come back to the flip zone. 205. But this big line, this is what we should have been looking at too. This big red line never did move. That's at 6605. It stayed there. It stayed there that whole time. 6605. This big red line stayed there that whole time. Right? Then 6600. It slid a little lower. Still got the big red. It was drawing, just drawing it down, drawing it down, drawing. Next thing you know, price was at it. Price was at 6,600. They're like, no, no, don't let it slide past it. And what happened? It slid right on past it. Once it got to the slippery slope and it slipped off it, that's when it's hard. This is where we had talked about the red. When we're in the red area, right? When we're in this red area, you want this to be, it's almost like a magnet. These big red candles are almost like a magnet. when it gets here, the broker is going to try to move it back. Let me change the color so y'all can see what I'm doing. The broker is going to try to move it, the brokers, the dealers, or whoever they are. They're trying to move it back to the right because they want it to go back into this flip zone. They want it to come back here. So they're doing things to do that. But if it gets past the big bar like this one did, if it gets past the big bar, then it can just slide down further. It's almost like it's on the edge of a cliff. And if they slip off, the slippery slope, then it just goes even further. And that's exactly what happened. Once it slipped off of that 6,600, the next one we're to the left and it's just sliding down even further. Once it slipped off, it's like, well, we're trying to pull it back to 6,600, but we're to the left now. And we're down in the 65.90, 65.90, still trying to bring it back to 6,600. You can see it kind of waffling back, trying to come back to this, but then now you got a lot more red over in here because again, more stuff is being put on trying to help it come back to the right. We're down at now 65, 65, 65. So that's just 65, 75 down here. This gamma does us some good. It does us some good. We just have to be watching it. And now we got that free one where if you need to see it more often than every 5 minutes, with personally, the 5 minutes is fine because when you're in this BT, the BT one where Gex body is, other people are typing in here what they want to see. So you're not seeing, you're not seeing just SPX. You're seeing whatever people are typing in here. So you're not, when we're on Magic 8 Ball, we're only watching one stocks gamma, which is fine. When you come into this free one here, you're watching whatever people type. So this is not, to me, is not like a continual flow. You're watching whatever you type. But in Magic 8 Ball, you're just seeing gamma for SPX the whole time.
And what is that? What is it that you type for that Gex one again?
You type
Is it I?
exclamation point
Oh,
GEX.
exclamation point.
You
Okay.
want if you wanted this the one like real time, you just type Gex SPX. If you want real time, that's going to give you the one for right now. Where is SPX right now? This is what you're going to get here.
Oh, we
Right.
still
This
here.
is right
Okay.
now 65.50 is the big bar, which is where price ended on Friday, was 65.50, right? If you want something going out in time, then you would do exclamation point GEXN SPX, I think it's 30 and 8. Yeah, this tells us it's going to give us like 30 strikes out for 8 days or something like that. That's what that is. And she says goes across 8 days with 30 out of the money, in the money strikes displayed. So that gives us this one. A little more data on here, but you'd have to read to see what kind of data is it telling you. Open interest, there's some stuff at the bottom where it tells you all about what's on here. This one's based just on open interest.
Okay. Valerie, when you were talking about purple, that's not the purple you're talking about. You're talking about the
She's talking about the Strat Assistant.
The Strat Assistant, yes.
Which, speaking of Strat Assistant, we're going to talk about it, but I turned off the colors. I don't have the colors on mine.
that you mean the three. Okay.
Yeah,
That
because
purple?
the colors in here, you can turn on the colors and it makes your candlesticks be a different color. And that, to me, I had to spend too much time remembering what color was what. So I took mine off. When you have on bar colors, so you turn on bar colors, then the threes are purple,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
And
ones
its
are
border is red. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
the border is red. Yeah. So I leave those off. The twos are green. The two ups are green. The two downs are red. But I like being able, but then you can see the border, but the border's not thick enough. So I took that off of mine so that I just get regular colors and then I have to read the candles, read the numbers. That's how I did mine. We'll go through all those things tomorrow too. What other questions we got? Rajiv?
Nika
Yeah.
just posted
Go
something.
ahead, Tanya. Go ahead, Tanya,
Nika
I'm listening.
just posted something from Adam, but I can't read it. It's too small.
He put it in the comments here.
Yeah, he just posted an hour ago on his Twitter, with the market being open. So he was saying that we gapped up basically, and I was just sharing it. What he
Oh, okay.
hmm
Okay. Rajiv, what's your question?
My question is, if I have a vertical spread trade, and if it is ITM, does that mean it's time to exit it now?
If it's ITM,
Yes.
so if it's in the money, that means that one of those legs is breached. So whether or not you close or not is kind of up to you. But my trading plan says two things. It says that if my short leg is breached, then I will exit the trade. But the
Okay.
caveat to that, my caveat though, is that I will look at the chart to see if the price is going to potentially do what I want it to do. So I try not to just blankly exit them. I see what kind of time I still got left on the contract. Is it ending today? Is it ending in 3 days or a week? Or, what does the chart tell me? So I really kind of use it as an indication to go look and see, is the trade going to do what I want it to do? And if not, I go. But sometimes I also set the stop kind of money based. If I say, okay, I took in $25 on this, if it's now worth 50 or something more than that, 60, I'm like, okay, well, this is probably not going to do what I want. I may cut my loss on that. It kind of is a situation by situation, but
I see. Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Man, have you ever been in a situation on a zero DTE trade where you were totally breached on the sell leg and buy leg, and you told yourself that it's gonna turn around, and
And it
it
didn't.
didn't, and you experienced max loss? Have you ever experienced max loss on a zero DTE?
Oh, have we?
Ask that question again.
Oh, I was just
Have
wondering if you ever
we?
experienced max loss on a zero
That,
DTE
that's
trade.
Yeah, no, she heard you.
Oh
That
shit.
that would be called hopium, and we've all smoked it.
yeah.
Yeah, we've all smoked it.
That's a race.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
race
yeah.
of
Well, that's
acid.
we have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have, and that's really a thing that we've really spent some time working on is really getting clarifying what is our entry criteria as well as our exit criteria, because many times we get in our entry criteria and we could on when we're going to enter, and we're not as sure on the exit criteria. So that's why we were a couple weeks ago working on what was our exit criteria, whether that is money based, and we want it to be chart based, but then we have to execute on that. That's the hardest thing, is executing on a plan that you put together for yourself. You have to execute on that plan. So definitely, yes, we have experienced max loss. I have sat by, and sometimes there's been times we've had a trade that was going fine, and in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the trading day, it's gotten blown through because SPX just went ballistic in the last 5 minutes, and you're sitting there stunned at
Mm,
4 o'clock, like, I can't believe that just
mm.
happened.
That's
So,
why I asked earlier about when you got out on Friday with that put. Your timing was great. I mean, yeah, you took a little bit off,
yeah.
but you
Mhm.
really that's why I was like,
Yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna ruin my good day holding on to a trade that I'm not, totally over vested in. I was like, this is good, but I'm gonna walk away from this $100 and keep the rest of my profits. So yeah.
Yeah,
I think we have to
that
also
gets
always
you.
keep in mind that
Sorry.
we're always looking for capital preservation. And that's one of the things that's tough when you're doing credit spread sometimes, is really keeping in mind that we're really trying to preserve our capital as much as possible. Because when you close a trade and then it turns around and goes right, you're like, I could have just not, and I've done that so many times, close it and it went the right way it was supposed to, and I don't closed it for nothing. So that is frustrating too, where you've taken a loss on a trade that if you had left it, it would have been fine. But you capital preservation is really where we have to remember all the time. We need to preserve our capital as best we can, and that comes with us putting together our exit criterias and then following through on them. Mhm.
Thank you for speaking to that. I think that that's what makes credit spreads get such a bad rap is
Yeah.
when you are breached on both legs.
Mhm.
And it's like, especially if you got in very conservatively and you're only taking, 10 cents in on a
Yeah.
dollar wide, or you're only
Yeah.
taking, $1 on something that's five wide, or 50
Mhm.
cents on something that's five wide, and you get breached on that, it's like,
Mhm.
holy moly. If you
Mhm.
get breached on something that you were aggressive in the money on,
Yeah.
like you took in 50 cents on something that was a dollar wide, if you get breached on that, it seems like it don't hurt as bad. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yep. I do. I do. I do. Let's go to ES, see what ES is doing over here. It does seem like Adam said it's gonna pop a little bit. We can look at SPX 500 too. That'll give us a real look on SPX. See where that is. 66.27 is where SPX is right now. We closed at what, 65.50?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Stop the madness. Are you kidding me?
it says 66.25.
I mean, that's nice. I'm
That's
not wow,
significant.
that's wait,
That's
we closed
significant.
at 65.50. No. We close, yeah, 65.52. We at
Mhm.
66?
66.25. That's up 75 points.
Where was you on Friday? Hello.
It was dipping. It was dipping, baby.
Wow, that's
Dipping, baby.
okay. Wait,
Yep.
wait. 66, wait. 66. Hold
This
up.
is SPX 500.
No, I'm trying to think. When was we at 66? What'd you say, 26?
Now look at this though. Even though we closed at 65.50, remember I said there was some more down? It did still drop down some more. 65.50.
We closed at 55, 65.52.
65.50 is in
And
here.
then it dropped to like 48.
It
Wait,
dropped to 6,500. It dropped right down to 6,500 and reversed. So it
wait.
still dropped that extra 50 points.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
then hit a nice little engulfing candle. Nice little engulfing candle and pulled us back up. But it is coming back into, on the 30-minute chart, coming back into the 200 period moving average, which is going to provide some resistance. Yep, that 200, this black line right here is a 200. It's going to provide some resistance. We'll see what it does when it
ain't
gets
nobody
there.
living a 1 DTE at 60, what, 6,600?
No, what was I? What was I? Let me go check and see now.
Because that's not a bad recovery. I ain't mad at that.
R1 DTE is 66.60.
66.60. Okay, 20, 40 more points.
66.60 is our 1 DTE.
That's a quick
Yeah, I'm
recovery.
not liking that, man. That's already a little close. That's already a little close for
There you
comfort. You
go.
know what
That's
I'm talking
true.
about?
That's true. I didn't
Listen,
expect
you
that.
got
Yowzers.
That's
all night.
You got all night, and you got
Got
till the
all night.
tomorrow too.
You got all night. I'm not gonna be worried about it. Got all night. Now I'm not saying it won't do, but I'm just saying you got all night.
No, you're right. But, 66.26.
You got
We
all
was
night.
at 66.21 on September 24th. That was after JP spoke. That was a
Yep,
couple months.
right past 6,600. Well, this is
Wow.
ES.
Interesting.
We've been in the by the dip, so
Yeah, no, people buying dips quicker this time around. I mean, we're definitely seeing that level of activity take place faster than usual.
true,
People like,
true.
yo, we buying. I'm like, wow, okay. Because this is
Yep, I
SPX.
know they not gonna miss the opportunity to ride back up. They like, we know we can go back to 67, 6,800. Let's go back.
Coach, what's NVIDIA doing?
Let's see. Is it doing anything tonight? Does NVIDIA trade all night?
Don't they have they too have over after
This is at
hours.
183. That's where it was in the post
Okay, so
market from
it still
Friday.
say okay, it still say that 183. Uh,
Yeah. It hasn't. You got to wait till the pre-market tomorrow for it to open.
right. Okay.
6:30. 6:30.
Are you doing any weeklies?
I did my weekly for SPX. I put into the chat. It was 67.15. 67.15 and 64.25. You talking about just on SPX or other stuff?
Other stuff.
Yeah, I put my stuff in for Peakbot, but then Peakbot didn't run anything on Friday. I'm not sure what that ended up being the issue, but I did have like Amazon and Google, and
Yeah, Peabody was like, yeah, no, this is not for us.
that's what I said. And I asked Dylan, I was like, well, what happened? And Dylan was like, he said they didn't know what happened. So I hadn't gotten um I don't know. I don't know what, I never got the word back to see what happened on it. So I'm gonna send a message and ask them, did they figure out the problem? Yep. All right. Well, if we don't have nothing else, we're gonna jump off. Don't forget, tomorrow night we will be on. Make sure I give you all the link. We will be on with E2T University doing the strat tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna teach the strat start to finish and include some stuff in there for how we
I'm
trade.
excited. I'm excited about that. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I kind of heard you talking about it a few times, and
Mhm.
you've I think maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, you spoke to some of the reversal signs.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm excited about that. May I ask you, do you know what your live trading schedule is this week? Are you trading live this week?
I won't be on like on the Zoom or anything because I got to teach this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like what you did Friday. I didn't know if you had
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Mm-mm.
never mind that.
We got school tomorrow at my school. We ain't off tomorrow. I don't know why we ain't. Why not? Columbus is off. Why?
Wait, did you say Columbus is up? He
Columbus is off. Why I'm not off?
not only off, he dead, but I love
Why I'm not off? Columbus off.
tell it to the indigenous people. But I was listening with the third ear. I was curious if you're gonna still do live trading on Friday, Coach.
We're not. We're not. We just said we're not. I might still do.
No, I heard you say you're not gonna trade, but that didn't necessarily mean you wasn't gonna do live trading on Friday. But I hear
That's
you.
true. So I think about it by the time we get to Friday, because we might. But if we on together, but listen, if we're on, we're definitely gonna trade because everybody gonna sit here and do nothing but just hang out. We go. Oh, so
Yeah, we
we
Yeah,
better
know
not have no
Valerie
live
gonna
stuff.
execute her 1030 without precision, without any hesitation.
Yeah,
1030.
we probably better not get on at all. We should all go enjoy our day.
yes.
Yes, just enjoy our day and watch. We can watch the market from our respective places.
Yeah, and you don't gotta trade every day. That's a hard concept for me that go to work every day is, you know, because I work every day, I think I need to get the money out the market every day.
Yeah. That's true. This is true. We don't have to.
That's
We
a
definitely
true
want to.
statement. I don't know if we've done that. Maybe maybe this Friday will be a first.
Maybe this will be the first. Yeah, yeah. I did take some downtime from trading there for a while. It's been a while since I did that, but I did take me like a trading sabbatical there for a little while. And it was actually freeing mentally for me to not be thinking about the trading all day. It was actually a good exercise for me. It was good for me to do
Yeah,
that.
I look forward to that when I'm away.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. You're gonna enjoy your time. It's gonna be,
Yeah,
I'm
I am
looking
not
forward to
looking at the
hearing how
market.
it goes.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the market, but
Yeah,
and I am not trying to replicate your trading while you on vacate, while you away. I don't need to do all that.
yeah. Enjoy
But
your
yeah,
time. Definitely be in the
I'll
moment.
definitely do my sabbatical then. And
Yeah, be in the moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cute. I'm gonna listen in and see if y'all traded Friday.
We're planning on a no. We're planning to not. We're planning to not trade on Friday. Okay. All righty, everybody. I will be on YouTube in the morning. I will be there, and then we'll be on with E2T University tomorrow evening. Okay.
Okay. So did
Once
the
this is ready,
majority of the
Alrighty, thank
class
you.
do good?
is the majority of the class what?
Did they do good on the test?
They look okay. They look okay. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. I got to put the grades in, but I grade them. They look okay.
That's good.
They look all right.
And a
Yeah.
half on mark. That's good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Y'all welcome. I'll see y'all later.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.